Ancient monuments, modern disasters, deadly prophecies. A mysterious monolith predicts an apocalyptic future. But are we getting the message? Natural disasters are on the rise. Famine and pandemics are threatening civilization on a global scale. All signs now point to a cataclysmic event that might spell the end of civilization. The question is, can we prevent this? The answer may lie deep in the heart of the American South, in the form of a strange monolith. Etched into these massive stone slabs is a set of laws intended to ensure the survival of the human race. They demand a radical change in how we live, including reducing the global population. Tonight, we unseal the unthinkable, a secret society plotting to kill over 90% of the world's population. What if the history you were taught in school was all a lie? Is our government controlled by a secret society? Welcome to the world of conspiracy, where cover-ups, secrets, and hidden agendas all trace back to a single source. We're about to unseal the secret files the government doesn't want you to know about. This is Unsealed, Conspiracy Files. 90 miles east of Atlanta stands a mysterious monument known as the Georgia Guidestones. Its massive stone slabs look like something from the dawn of time, but it is far from ancient. It was built in 1980 and engraved with a series of 10 Bible-like commandments in 8 different languages, both modern and archaic. They call for humanity to change its ways, how we communicate, how we govern ourselves, how we treat each other, and how we settle our differences. But above all of these are 2 commandments that have ignited a firestorm of controversy. There is a commandment that calls for humanity to guide reproduction wisely. And finally, the first commandment demands we maintain a world population under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. The world population currently stands at approximately 7 billion. Reducing it to 500 million would require the elimination of more than 90% of all the people on planet Earth. But how would this happen? Is the monolith intended to guide the survivors of some future catastrophe? Or does it call for the mass slaughter of billions? The only man who could answer these terrifying questions is its architect. But his identity remains shrouded in mystery. The story of the Georgia Guidestones begins in 1979. A man using the alias R.C. Christian buys land in Elbert County, Georgia, with the intention of building a strange monument on the site. Throughout the process, he reveals his true identity to just 2 others, a county official and the owner of the Elbert County Stoneworks. Both men are sworn to secrecy. Construction is completed in March 1980. Immediately after, the man calling himself R.C. Christian disappears, never to be heard from again. The secrecy surrounding his identity only adds to the Guidestones' mystique. But was he working alone? Or was he part of a larger movement, using the Guidestones to recruit new members for their cause?
Sun Tzu says, if there are 2 warring nations, but one nation doesn't know it's at war, the other nation will always win. What you would do was isolate a segment for the population. And you would say to that population, here's what's going to happen. Your population is going to be wiped out. You can either work for us or you can work against us. If you work for us, you would survive.
So if Christian was working on behalf of a movement, who are they? And could they really instigate the mass slaughter of billions? A short distance away is a small tablet embedded in the ground that bears a telling piece of fine print. Let these be guidestones to an age of reason. In history, the Age of Reason was the era when the Western world emerged from the superstitious thinking of the past to build a society based on science and logic. Its architects were some of history's greatest minds, men like Isaac Newton, Voltaire, and Benjamin Franklin. Among them was a British economist who was one of the most controversial minds in history. His name was Thomas Malthus. Malthus warned that if the world's population isn't kept in check, war, famine, and epidemics will eliminate the excess, whether we like it or not. It's an eerily familiar scenario.
We have 7 billion people on a planet with major problems. Food shortages, water shortages, environmental damage, huge political inequities that are generating terrorism.
Thomas Malthus predicted our modern world and its problems with uncanny accuracy. To avoid this fate, Malthus called for a sweeping reduction of the world's birth rate to maintain a sustainable civilization. Will the population correction he predicted come true as well?
We're facing major problems that threaten certainly the comfortability of the human race, if not its survivability. Humanity
is staring into an abyss. What if someone has the power to push it over the edge? Coming up, we expose a secret religious order and reveal the global network they plan to use to alter the course of life on Earth. Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. The mysterious Georgia Guidestones monolith is engraved with a series of commandments that read like laws for a new sustainable world civilization, including a controversial call to reduce the global population by more than 90%. Are they intended for the survivors of some apocalyptic event? Or do they call for a mass killing to restore the balance between humanity and nature? But who would be ruthless enough to conceive such a plan? Was it really the mysterious R.C. Christian or someone else? Many experts believe this depopulation plot has its roots in one of the world's most infamous secret societies. Unsealed case file: the Rosicrucians. The Rosicrucian order started as an underground sect of Christianity that embraced science, logic, and a respect for nature. It is said to have been founded in the early 15th century by Christian Rosencreuz, who rejected the authority of the Roman Catholic Church. But like R.C. Christian, his true identity is shrouded in mystery. Many historians question whether Rosencreuz ever existed at all. The order, however, is very real and continues today. And according to some experts, they are the collective mind behind the Georgia Guidestones. They cite striking similarities between the Rosicrucian faith and the commandments spelled out on the monolith. It calls for a new civilization to rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. It's a core belief of the Rosicrucian order. And there are other connections. The order's symbol was a sign of the Rosy Cross. Some believe R.C. Christian's alias was devised as a cryptic reference to his membership in the Rosicrucian order. But if they are the creators, why do the Rosicrucians keep their identity secret? The answer is as old as the order itself. The original Rosicrucians were forced to remain anonymous or risk persecution by the Holy Inquisition. Similarly, the Guidestones' controversial commandments have made it a constant target for vandals. Today, they are kept under 24-hour video surveillance by the county sheriff. Did R.C. Christian choose to keep his identity secret for his own safety? Or was he a Rosicrucian protecting his fellow members as well? Beyond the commandments, experts cite another, even darker reason why the order might fear a backlash. In building the Guidestones on this exact location, the Rosicrucians may have tampered with powers that could bring about the end of the world. To the casual observer, the monolith appears to be standing in a randomly selected field with no distinguishing features. As it turns out, there is nothing random about it. The monolith stands on what's known as the Arcadian ley line. It's one of a massive network of ley lines that crisscross the planet. The lines connect sites of unparalleled historical, cultural, and spiritual importance like the Great Pyramid, Stonehenge, the Taj Mahal, and the Great Wall of China.
These ancient people had wisdom well beyond their years. You can see examples of this all over the globe. They built these structures using some of the most archaic tools known to mankind.
Many believe these lines to be a matrix of immense mystical power for both good and evil. The Arcadian ley line is said to be one of the most powerful on Earth. Over the centuries, the line has generated enormous amounts of destructive energy, claiming countless lives. Since the monolith's completion in 1980, the world has seen an ever-increasing number of famines, plagues, and natural disasters. Could this be the result of the Georgia Guidestones? Have the Rosicrucians opened a Pandora's box of catastrophes that will eliminate most of the world's population? Are the Rosicrucians planning to use the Arcadian ley lines to create a new world order? Up next, we reveal the secret source of the Rosicrucians' power. Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. The Georgia Guidestones is a cryptic monolith that calls for the elimination of more than 90% of the world's population. Some experts believe it was built by the Rosicrucians, who chose a site on the infamous Arcadian ley line to tap into its destructive power. But if this is true, how did they learn to do it? Where did they discover the secret of the ley lines? The answer lies hidden in a centuries-old mystery. Unsealed case file. Crop circles. Crop circles appear in farm fields all over the world. They were first reported in 1686, and the cause behind them has confounded experts ever since. Some suggest the circles are messages left by alien visitors, but not intended for us. Experts believe crop circles are a kind of universal barcode that could be scanned by passing UFOs to acquire quick information about planet Earth. We ourselves have attempted similar communications before.
When we decide to send a message to the heavens in hopes to communicate with an alien civilization, binary code was decided by scientists because it really is that universal language that if any intelligent race in the universe were to master science, binary code would be the easiest thing to decipher.
Using massive radio telescopes like the one at Arecibo in Puerto Rico, scientists transmitted details about the human race as a kind of interstellar greeting to any who might be listening.
So when we sent the Arecibo message to the heavens, we gave details about where we were in the universe, what our human DNA was like, and some other details about who we are as humanity.
What if crop circles are messages made by aliens intended for other visitors to Earth? What information might they contain? Could they hold information about our home that science has yet to discover? And what if someone broke the crop circle code? What secrets might they learn? Some experts believe the Rosicrucians did break the code, gaining access to incredible secrets about our planet, previously known only to extraterrestrials. Among them was knowledge of the ley lines and instructions on how to tap into their immense power. The crop circles may have also contained an estimate of the maximum human population Earth can sustain. That number was 500 million. Did the Rosicrucians build the Georgia Guidestones based on alien information? In 1996, a massive crop circle appeared in the fields of Hampshire, England, in the shape of a Rosicrucian rose. Some conspiracy theorists believe this to be an alien acknowledgement of the Rosicrucians' efforts. But does this mean they are advocating the slaughter of billions? Or are they simply trying to warn us about an impending catastrophe? We live in constant fear from many natural threats, but none compare to the very thing that sustains us, the sun. Recently, scientists have warned of a danger of massive solar flares that could one day reach Earth. Similar flashes hit the planet 13,000 years ago, causing mass destruction. Some experts believe these all but wiped out any evidence of ancient civilizations that might have existed before.
We rise and we fall. You know, this civilization seems to be about 12,000 years old, but there are older civilizations that have left things behind.
Did aliens witness the ancient catastrophe and encode this vital information into crop circles? Are the Rosicrucians using this secret information to change the course of human history and create an entirely new civilization?
You have to consider the possibility that this is not the first time we've been on this planet. In other words, this is not the first cycle of civilization. And there are rises and falls.
A massive solar flare is just one of many possible natural disasters the future may hold in store. Coming up, we reveal stunning predictions of the post-apocalyptic world.
Unsealed. Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed. Conspiracy Files.
The time to act is now. There are 3 simple steps you can take to unseal the truth.
Follow on Twitter.
Follow the Unsealed Twitter feed to receive breaking news of the latest conspiracies as they develop.
Tell your story.
What did you see that you shouldn't have?
The government's known about it all along. Why has nobody told us?
Upload stories and pictures to our interactive map.
Join the movement.
Get the Unsealed bracelet and the unique code hidden underneath to access exclusive content. Stop living in the dark. Get involved in the fight to unseal the truth. Now. The Georgia Guidestones is a baffling monolith that calls for the elimination of more than 90% of the world's population. But how did its creator envision this happening? Will it be a terrifying mass slaughter or the unfortunate result of a natural catastrophe? Recently, a growing number of prominent psychics have been experiencing the same terrifying vision. They predict that in the not-too-distant future, the entire world will be ravaged by a global catastrophe that will drastically reduce the Earth's landmass. This doomsday scenario, better known as Earth Changes, was first predicted by renowned American psychic Edgar Cayce. These predictions have been gathered together in a map that shows a world transformed by disaster. Massive chunks of the Earth's landmass are now underwater, and the surviving population is crowded onto much smaller pockets of land, known as safe zones. But with so many people squeezed into these pockets of land, will civilization be pushed past the breaking point? Over the decades, many religious groups have adopted this nightmarish vision of the future, including the Rosicrucians, leading to a final, ironic twist. Whatever catastrophe these Earth changes may hold in store, the map of projected safe zones tells us the Georgia Guidestones will survive it all. Did the Rosicrucians create the Georgia Guidestones? Have we really outgrown our own planet? And has all of this happened before?
Unsealed. Conspiracy Files.